It's an upstart versus a mainstay. Welcome inside a MAAC women's basketball semifinal preview presented by Q30 Television and Q30 Sports. I'll be your host, Morey Hershgordon. And Sunday morning at 11 a.m. at the Times Union Center, it's top-seeded Quinnipiac riding an 18-game winning streak alongside of Trisha Fabry, Maria Napolitano, and the rest of the bunch against the number 5-seeded Monmouth Hawks, an upstart team that has surprised and defeated Fairfield on Saturday afternoon by 18 points, final score of 64-46. Alongside me will be John Franklin and Josh Silverman in just a little bit to break down both sides, but here is the preview. Both teams split the regular season. Monmouth is just one of 3 teams in the past 2 years to defeat the Quinnipiac Bobcats in the regular season. The Bobcats are 37-3 in regular season play coming into the tournament over the last 2 seasons. A 63-60 victory for the Hawks, a thriller at the end in West Long Branch at the beginning of January was Quinnipiac's last defeat in 2016. Since then, it has won 18 straight to get to the MAAC Semifinals. And then game 2 of the regular season matchup, it was an 85-58 decision, a blowout by the Bobcats, an absolute domination at TD Bank Sports Center at the end of January on January 28th. Joshua Silverman will join me to break down the Bobcats in just a minute. I'm now joined alongside of QBSN basketball analyst Josh Silverman to break down the top-seeded Bobcats. And Josh, let's jump right into things. When you get to a semifinal in a tournament, experience is always crucial. And Quinnipiac definitely has the experience and the edge over Monmouth.
Yeah, and Morey, and that starts with Maria Napolitano. She's the senior captain. She only had 4 points in that first game of the tournament, and I think that just shows how deep this team is and how much of a leader she is, and the fact that the team can survive with her only getting 4 points because she's helping the rest of the team out. She had 3 steals. She had a great game. She might not have had as many points, but she's there for the team.
And as we look towards the bench, Quinnipiac outscored Niagara in the quarterfinals 41-1. And then you look at bench production in the 2 games against the Hawks. The Hawks outscored the Bobcats 24-12 in bench production on January 2nd. And then on January 28th, Quinnipiac returned the favor 47-27. What about Quinnipiac's bench makes them so vital to their success?
I think it starts with Morgan Mann. She's shooting 46% from the 3, which is the best on the team. She's great down low, and she can play great defense. She's the catalyst for this bench. Then you have players like Adelie Martucci, who's a really good 3-point shooter. She's averaging 7.5 points per game. Then you have a freshman like Brittany Martin. They all combined just make a great bench for Quinnipiac.
Morgan Mann's a top 3-point shooter in the country. Definitely, you should not leave her open. And now let's look down low. Quinnipiac has a trident of bigs in Schuin, Stroutmanet, and McClure. But focus on the freshmen. What about them can they bring to the table to defeat the Hawks?
Well, the first thing they bring is a Rookie of the Year award in Erin McClure. Then you Paula Charbonnet. Erin averages 8.3 points per game, and Paula averages 8.2. They can almost alternate scoring 20 points, 15 points, because one of them helps the other one out. They are dominant down low, and they will only get better.
To break down the 5th-seeded Hawks, John Franklin will join me next. John Franklin now joins me to break down the 5th-seeded Monmouth Hawks. John, let's get right to it. Monmouth has a guard who's a stud who leads that offense.
Highly touted Sarah Olsen. She's been key for the Hawks, Morey. Senior guard has been a leader. She's averaging 11.6 points per game and has started 29 of 30 games for the Hawks. Obviously, a very important key part of this offense. She's averaging over 30 minutes a game. That's first on the team.
The senior doesn't want her season to end. After the Fairfield game in the post-game press conference, she said, "We know we can beat them," referring to Quinnipiac, because we did it before. Strong statement from the senior. We shall see how that plays out. Now let's move along to the bench. We always talk about Quinnipiac's depth and Quinnipiac's bench, outscoring Niagara 41-4, but it was Monmouth's bench against Fairfield that really stood out, and one player in particular with a postseason award.
Well, Morey, Quinnipiac, like you said, has a whole bevy of options, but Monmouth has one go-to, co-6th player of the year, Jasmine McCall. She's had a great campaign for the Hawks. She's shooting just over 38% from the field. Unbelievable. She's averaging 8.5 points per game. She's only started 1 game out of 24 appearances. That's where her coming off the bench is going to be key for the Hawks in a game like this against Quinnipiac.
Key for the Hawks, 20 points in the victory for the Hawks over the Bobcats was when McCall had 20 points, and then only 3 in Hampden when the Hawks got blown out. So really the game depends on McCall's production. Last point, though, the bigs down low. Quinnipiac obviously has the trident, but what does Monmouth have to counteract?
Monmouth has 6'4" center Christina Mitchell. She got averaging 9 rebounds per game for the Hawks. That's a ridiculous stat. 9 rebounds, unheard of down low. She also has 269 on the year, leads the Hawks in that category. She's going to be tough to stop. She gets the ball down low. She's got great footwork in the paint. It's going to depend on how Stroman and McClure pick her up down low and are able to contain her in the post. That's going to be a big difference whether or not Quinnipiac can get the win or Monmouth comes away with another upset and we see them dancing in the final.
Monmouth with great guard play, with great bench play, with great big play. John Franklin, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Morey. Always a pleasure.
If you want to follow the game live, don't forget to check us out on social media. My Twitter handle is @MAHERSH, MAHHERSH. John's is Hey It's Franklin 6, and Josh is @JoshM Silverman. Once again, it's the #1 seed, Quinnipiac Bobcats, looking for their second straight Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference championship, going up against the 5th-seeded Monmouth Hawks. Game time is 11 a.m., and it can be seen on ESPN3. For the entire Q30 and QBSN crew, I'm Morey Hershgordon. We'll see you next time.